Good day, students. Today we're going to do expanding brackets, and this is our second lesson, so we're going to be doing a little bit more on expanding brackets. The objective is going to be able to simplify expressions using the distributive law to expand brackets. So let's have a go at the starter first. So for the starter, you have these questions to do. Look at the note which tells you to remember negative times positive is negative, negative times negative is positive. Spend no more than 10 minutes doing these questions, then resume the video to check for your answers. Here are your answers. Please mark them, pause the video to get your answers, then resume when you're through to move on to the next slide. Now we're going to expand brackets, and there are two things I would like for you to bear in mind when we do this exercise. First, you need to remember that when asked to expand brackets, we multiply all terms inside the bracket by the number or term in front of it. And two, we also need to remember that negative times positive is negative, and the negative times negative is positive. Now for these examples that we're going to do, I'd like for you to write them in your math books. So starting with the first example, we have to expand brackets and that are separated by a plus sign. So for the first bracket, we have 3 times a plus 2, and then the other bracket we have a positive 2 times a plus 5. And so we will set up 2 grids to multiply these brackets separately. So here we go. So we have split the terms in the first bracket. So a and 2 are on top of that grid, and then the 3 goes to the left of that. And then our second bracket, we are going to split the terms again. And so we have a plus 5 on top, and then 2 to the left. All we need to do now is multiply the numbers in the grid to get our expressions. So for the first grid, we'll multiply 3 times a to get 3a. And we're going to multiply 3 times 2 to get 6. And so we will get 3 plus 6 for our answer for the first bracket. On the second bracket, we're also going to multiply. And so we have 2 times a to give us 2a, and 2 times 5 to give us 10. And so this grid gives us 2a plus 10. Now all we need to do is simplify these two expressions as it's from the same question. So we'll have 3a plus 2a to get 5a, and positive 6 plus 10 to give us positive 16. So our answer is 5a plus 16. In our second example, we're going to do the same. So we will draw our grids as we have 2 brackets that are now separated by a minus sign. So 4 times a plus 2 will be one of the brackets, and then minus 2 times a minus 5 will be the other bracket. So setting up our separate grids to multiply these separately, that's what it will look like. So now we're going to multiply the numbers in each grid to see what we come up with. So 4 times a will give us 4a, and 4 times 2 will give us 8. So we end up with 4a plus 8. And then we'll do the other grade, multiplying minus 2 times a minus 2a, and minus 2 times minus 5 gives us 10. So that grade gives us minus 2a plus 10. Then all we have to do is simplify, and so we end up with 4a minus 2a to give 2a, and 8 plus 10 to give us 18. So our final answer is 2a plus 18. Now for our next set of examples. For the first one, we have 7 times 2a minus 1, and then we have minus 3 times a plus 5. So just to draw the boxes to separate the two brackets. So that's our first one, and then our second. So we will set up our grid, and then we will multiply. So 7 times 2a will give us 14a, and 7 times minus 1 will give us minus 7. So we end up with 14a minus 7. Then for the second grid, we're going to multiply. So we'll get a minus 3 times a minus 3a. Then we'll also have minus 3 times positive 5 to give minus 15. So we have minus 3a minus 15. Then we have to simplify. So 14a minus 3a will give us 11a, and minus 7 minus 15 will give us minus 22. So we have minus 11a minus 22 for our final answer. 11a minus 22. For our second example, we're gonna identify our brackets again, which are separated by the minus sign. So that's 1. And then here is our second. We will set up our grid as before. Now I'd like you to pause the video, try to work out what your answer will be, then resume the video to check for the correct answer. So for the first grid, we multiply 4 times 3a to get 12a, and 4 times 1 to get 4. So that's 12a plus 4. For the second grid, we're going to multiply. So minus 2 times 6a minus 12a, and minus 2 times 11 minus 22. So that gives us a minus 12a minus 22. And then we need to simplify. So we'll have a 12a minus 12a, which is 0a, and then 4 minus 22 to give minus 18. So our final answer is minus 18. Here is a word problem. Let us see how we can apply expanding brackets to help us. It says John's age is represented by 4 bracket x plus 1, and Kim's age is represented by 2 bracket x minus 3 write a simplified expression for the sum of their ages. So we need to add their ages. John's age is here and Kim's age is here. So therefore it means we need 4 bracket x plus 1 plus 2 bracket x minus 3. So we'll have to work these out separately as it's separated by a plus sign. So we would have x on top plus 1 and then 4 to the left. Then we'll have a plus 2 because we need to keep our plus sign with the second bracket. So we'll have a plus 2 and then we'll have on top x and minus 3. So we're going to go ahead and multiply. 4 times x is 4x, 4 times 1 is 4. Then 2 times x is 2x and 2 times minus 3 is minus 6. So for this one we have 4x plus 4, and for the bottom box we get 2x minus 6. All we need to do is simplify. We have a positive 4x and a positive 2x, so a total of 6x. And then we have a positive 4 and a minus 6, so it's 4 minus 6, which is minus 2. So then the sum of their ages is 6x minus 2. For our first extension problem, we can see that we have our brackets separated by minus sign, so we have our 2 sets of brackets to multiply separately. So we are going to set up our grid as normal, then multiply. A times 2a, 2a squared. A times b, ab. So we have 2a squared plus ab. Then for our next grid, minus 3 times a squared, minus 3a squared. And then minus 3 times b to give minus 3b. So we have minus 3a squared minus 3b, then we simplify. So 2a squared minus 3a squared gives us minus 1a squared. And then we have ab only, no more ab, so just 1ab. And we have minus 3b, so we write minus 3b. So our final answer is minus a squared plus ab minus 3b. For the second extension problem, I have set up the grids for you. So I'd like for you to pause the video, try the question, then come back to see what the correct answer is. So we'll multiply 2a times 5a, 10a squared, 2a times a squared, 2a cubed. So we get 10a squared plus 2a cubed. Then for the next grid we're multiplying, so 2a squared minus times minus 3a will give us minus 6a cubed. And then 2a squared times minus 1 will give us a minus 2a squared. And so we get minus 6a cubed minus 2a squared. And then we'll simplify. So we get 10a squared minus 2a squared, which gives us 8a squared. Make sure you're looking for a like terms. And then we have 2a cubed minus 6a cubed, which gives us a minus 4a cubed. So final answer is 8a squared minus 4a cubed. Here is task 1. Pause the video, spend 20 minutes doing the questions, then once you're through, resume the video to check your answers. Here are the answers. Pause your video, mark them, then resume the video to move on to the next part of the lesson. Now we're going to multiply brackets where they're not separated by plus or minus signs. So here's our first example. Our x minus 5 times x plus 2 in brackets. There's no plus sign or minus sign in between, so it tells us that we need to multiply these by each other. Both brackets are multiplying each other. So we'll set up a grid like the one you are seeing now, a 2 by 2 grid, and then what we do is we'll split the terms in each bracket. So for the terms in the bracket x minus 5, we will separate them and put them along the side of our grid, and then for our x plus 2, that will go on top of our grid. Then all we'll do is multiply, and so we'll do x times x to get x squared. Then we'll multiply x times 2 to get 2x. Then we'll multiply x times minus 5 to give us minus 5x. Then we'll multiply minus 5 times 2 to get a minus 10. So in our boxes, we'll have x squared, 2x, minus 5x, and minus 10, which is now on the bottom of the question. Now we have a positive 2x and we have a minus 5x. They are like terms, so we can combine them. So a 2x minus 5x gives a minus 3x. So our final answer is going to be x squared minus 3x minus 10. Here's the second example, and I'd like for you to try this on your own. I've set up the grid for you, so you see where x plus 5 is written to the left of the grid and x minus 2 is written on top. So all you need to do is do the multiplication and simplify. So now pause the video. Once you're finished, return to the video and check if you got the question correct. So we'll multiply. So x times x gives us x squared. X times minus 2 will give us minus 2x. 5 times x will give us 5x. And 5 times minus 2 gives us a minus 10. So we'll get a x squared, a minus 2x, a positive 5, and a minus 10 written on the bottom. Again, we have 5x and we have minus 2x. So we can combine those two like terms. So minus 2x plus 5x will give us a positive 3x. And so our final answer is x squared plus 3x minus 10. I'd like for you to try this example in your books. The grid has been set up for you, so pause the video. Then once you're finished, resume the video to check if you got the correct answer. So we're going to multiply. And when you've multiplied in your boxes, you should get x squared, 3x, 2x, and 6. So your 4 terms are written below. Then as you can see, your 3x and 2x are like terms, so they can be combined. So that gives you a positive 5x. So your final answer is going to be x squared plus 5x plus 6. Now I'd like you to try this example. The grid is set up for you. So pause the video again, try the question. Once you're through, resume the video and check your answers. So you'll multiply and you'll get those terms in the bracket x squared minus 3x minus 2x and 6, which is now written below. And again, your minus 3x can be combined with your minus 2x, and so that gives you a minus 5x. So your final answer is x squared minus 5x plus 6. Here is a question that takes in some geometry. Now we're going to look at finding the area for the rectangle below. So the area of a rectangle is length multiplied by width, the width. And so for the rectangle, the length is x plus 5 and the width is x minus 2. Keep those in bracket. So all we need to do is multiply x plus 5 times x minus 2. So we'll set up our grid. So our x plus 5 bracket will go to the left, x plus 5, x minus 2 bracket will go on top. Then we'll multiply x times x gives us x squared. X times minus 2 gives us minus 2x. 5 times x is 5x. And 5 times minus 2 is minus 10. Then we just need to write out the terms that we got. X squared minus 2x plus 5x minus 10. We have terms in x, that's 5x minus 2x. So when combined, we get a positive 3x. So then our final answer for the area of the rectangle is x squared plus 3x minus 10. Continue with practicing expanding brackets, and I would like for you to pause the video, try the question. It's the same method. Resume the video and check if your answer is correct. Okay, so we need to multiply the two brackets. When you multiply, you would have gotten 2x squared, 6x minus 5x and minus 15 in the boxes, which I've now written below. And then we check for our terms in x. So we have 6x and we have 5 minus 5x. So we can combine those two terms to get just a positive 1x. And so our final answer is going to be 2x squared plus x minus 15. I'd like for you to try this question now. So pause the video and try to get your answer. Then you will resume and check if you got the correct answer. I've placed the grid on the screen for you as well. Okay, so we should multiply the numbers on the grid. When you multiply, you would have gotten 24 minus 16x plus 9x minus 6x squared, written below. Here we see that, and then again on terms in x can be combined. So we have a minus 16x plus 9x, which will give us a minus 7x. And so our answer will be 24 minus 7x minus 6x squared. Now here we have a problem. 2x minus 5 all bracket, and we should square that. And what does this mean? Since we're squaring the bracket, it means the bracket is being multiplied by itself. So therefore it's 2x minus 5 times 2x minus 5. So again, because we're multiplying the brackets by each other, we set up our grid and we write the terms around the grid. All we need to do is now multiply. So when we multiply the numbers in the grid, we should get 4x squared minus 10x and positive 25. So our terms in x, that's a minus 10x and a minus 10x can be combined. So from the terms that were written out, we underline our minus 10x and minus 10x. And when those are combined, we get minus 20x. So our final answer is 4x squared minus 20x plus 25. I'd like for you to pause the video and try doing this question, then resume the video to check if you did the correct thing. So because we're squaring 3y plus 2, then it can be written as 3y plus 2 times 3y plus 2. You then set up your grid and write the terms around the grid. then we will multiply. And so when multiplying, we would get 9y squared, 6y, 6y, and 4, which is written below. Our terms in y can be combined, so our 6y and 6y, which I've underlined here, would give us a 12y. And so our final answer is 9y squared plus 12y plus 4. Now we're on to task 2. Go to show my homework and open the link from there. Then you just need to do bronze, silver, or gold. Once you're through with any of these, you can try the extension problems. Once you finish doing that, mark your work. The link for the answers will also be in show my homework. Once you're done, send photos of your work on show my homework. Please ensure that you mark them, and I will give you feedback. Thank you.